54 Sports is sponsored by Alpha Insurance.
Hey everyone, in about 90 days, Alvin Briggs is retiring from his role as the executive director of the Alabama High School Athletic Association. So the Central Board of Control, well, they had to move swiftly to get his replacement lined up. Today, we were introduced to that special individual. The Central Board of Control selecting Heath Harmon to be the new man in charge of high school athletics in this state. Harmon, the current principal at Oxford High School, has been in education for over 2 decades, and he's also been a football coach at 4 different programs across the Yellowhammer State. He explained why he is more than ready to take over such an important position.
That's really where I began when I started thinking about my entrance for this position, because I work for people that are, they know that things don't happen just by accident. Organizations and associations are not what they are by accident. It takes people that are willing and able to do the challenging jobs. And I know this job is going to be very rewarding, but I know it's also going to be very challenging. But people have to step up to that role to make sure that we protect what we have. And so that's very important to me.
Speaking of sports administrators, Dr. Paul Bryant is receiving a very big honor in his hometown. Today, the city of Dayton, Ohio announced that June 14th will be officially known as Dr. Paul A. Bryant Day. Bryant has served in several leadership roles at various HBCUs like Stillman, Grambling State, Edward Waters, and currently Alabama A&M. And everywhere he's gone, you've seen positive results. In just 3 short years on the Hill, we've seen attendance records for both football and basketball in the updated facilities. All right. Recently, we found out that UNA's season opener against Southeastern Missouri would air in prime time on national television, but that game has caused their future series to be altered. According to FBSschedules.com, UNA will now travel to Southeast Missouri in 2025, and UNA will play host to SEMO in a newly scheduled game, which will take place on September the 1st, 2029. Be prepared. That game will probably be played at the futuristic Bank Independent Stadium on the campus of UNA. All right, the countdown is on for when these two teams will first match up down in Montgomery for the 2024 FCS kickoff. It will take place on August the 24th at 6 p.m. at Crampton Bowl. You can watch it live on ESPN. Let's take a sports media timeout. Coming up next, despite being on a new team and playing a new position, former Alabama All-American J.C. Latham is turning heads with ease in the Music City. We'll find out why next.
Now back to Fox 54 Sports, sponsored by Alpha Insurance.
And welcome back, everyone. Changing positions can be challenging for any athlete, no matter what the sport. But if you're a former Alabama All-American J.C. Latham, the change has been quite smooth. The first-round draft pick of the Tennessee Titans has been asked to move from right to left tackle so he can protect the backside of starting quarterback Will Levis. Latham hasn't had a position change since his junior year in high school, and even then, he worked extra hard to perfect the craft. Now he's doing the same thing, and it goes all the way back to the extra work he's been putting in after practice since those high school days.
Conveniently, I'm watching a video on Kobe Bryant, and he's just expressing the fact that, he felt like he kind of arrived in basketball a little bit later, but if, he worked out twice a day, then by a year span, he get better. 2 years worth of work in 1 year span. And then, that's what he said he did. So in 5 years of being in the NBA, he'd have 10 years of work. So I just kind of took that to heart. If I did my work on my own, then outside of the practice, I'll get better twice as fast. So since I was in high school, that's something that I've always kind of adopted to always do. Did it in high school, Alabama, and out here. So.
Sticking with pro football, Latham's former college teammate Bryce Young holding his first youth football camp in Charlotte earlier this week. The camp was free, and 300 lucky kids got a chance to spend the day learning from Young, his teammates, and coaches. We'll actually hear from the former Heisman Trophy winner on Friday. Game 1 of the 2024 NBA Finals is underway in Boston, and right now the Celtics have a double-digit lead over the Mavs. Game 2 will be on Sunday. Now, staying on the hardwood, the future of a college basketball team along with an NBA franchise could be changed if this move goes through. According to ESPN, the LA Lakers are prepared to offer UConn men's head basketball coach Dan Hurley a huge contract. According to the network, the Lakers have had early contact with the head coach of the two-time defending NCAA men's champions, and they plan to step up the talks in the upcoming days. Hurley has been the coach at UConn since 2018. He signed a 6-year contract extension last summer, making him one of the highest paid coaches in men's college basketball. Hurley said that he might consider taking an NBA job at some point. We'll see what happens and if he keeps talking with the team on the West Coast. Kanisha?